his next attack. What he wants to show is a scenario where he has leveled up from an epiphany during the fight. He hits the monster again but wonders how Hugo will react to what he is doing. He uses the Iron-Blooded Sword Clan Baskerville, and it's a skill that can be used when a person's life is formulaically set. At about 15 years of age, a person can imbue the sword with mana. Normally, hounds attain the Baskerville first technique at that stage, but at that moment, for the first time in the history of the entire Baskerville clan, an 8-year-old has attained the second technique, which is normally achieved at 18 years of age. He smiles and tells the people that she did it. Even Hugo is shocked. He can't believe what he has just witnessed. Indeed, Vicar has killed a troll. About a week later, they all go to eat, and he is served the miscellaneous meat porridge, which he claims he can never get used to. He notices that everyone has been distancing themselves from him since the time he had killed the troll. He thinks that's a normal thing because power is everything in their family. However, he felt so glad to see Hugo taken back during his fight. He was so shocked that he couldn't even talk with him before he went to his room. He knows what he has revealed to them is just the Baskerville's second technique, which he is a mid-rank expert. The truth is that he is a low-rank graduator, and he can weakly perform the Baskerville 5th technique. He has also gotten a skill from the troll he has killed, and with the skill, he should be stronger than an average graduator. His third skill slot has now been filled with the super speed regeneration troll. He also notices that he has been eating a lot since he got the Beelzebub. He sees the Burrow triplets, and he wonders what they are looking for. He asks them if the last attack isn't enough, but they claim that's not why they are there. They tell him that they wanted to tell him that it was cool that he had defeated Cerberus and the troll. He spills his food in irritation at their compliments. He wonders if they are using the two-faced technique or some deceitful kind of policy. He tells them he is getting goosebumps and he doesn't feel good. He wonders if he should beat them up first and think about it. However, the butler comes to call him and tells him to see Hugo immediately. Hugo meets with the head of the Morgue clan patriarch by proxy, Adolf Morgue. He tells Adolf that it's been a while, and Adolf says he hasn't changed a bit. He says he hopes that year's annual event goes smoothly, but Hugo says the joint training has always gone well without a hitch. Adolf reminds him that there were at least 2 seriously injured ones from each family last year, which can also be called a hitch. Hugo insists that the injury was only but a scratch, and Morgue's children seem to be quite dramatic children. Adolf doesn't dent that. He claims his kids are noble and more dignified. The Morgue is the renowned mage clan, while the Baskerville is known as the Iron-Blooded Sword Clan. The two clans were not always on bad terms, and magic and swords are a complementary pair. At least, that's what the past emperor believed. Because of that, the Morgues and Baskerville began joint training sessions. Only the children within the age of 8 and 15 are allowed to participate, and it was carried out in a good atmosphere as an annual event. However, a problem occurred between them. There was a ruby mine between the Baskerville territory and the Morgue territory, and blood ended up being split over the conflict. As a result, the two patriarchs came to be on bad terms. Despite that, they continue with the joint trainings according to the Emperor's command. This is why the Morgue's patriarch younger brother had visited instead of the patriarch himself. Adolf tells Hugo that he has heard that a supernova has appeared in the Baskerville family, and it is a great blessing to the Empire that a rare genius only born maybe once in a central was born into the Baskerville family. But Hugo says it's not that much of a big deal. Adolf wonders why he will react that way to a compliment about his child. Adolf says they are also fortunate in the Morgue family because they also have genius on their hands. He calls their genius Camus and tells him to come inside. Adolf tells Hugo that Camus is his sister Rispani's daughter. He asks Camus if she wouldn't greet Hugo, and the girl asks if Hugo is the thief that stole their ruby mine. She screams that Hugo should give them back their mine, and Hugo gets annoyed that she has the audacity to call him a thief. Adolf gets angry, too. He asks Camus why she is displaying such impolite behavior, but Camus reminds him that he was the one that told her that an annoying chin beard stole their ruby mine. Adolf wonders when he had said that, and Camus reminds him he said it before he came down from the carriage, which was about an hour and 42 minutes ago. Hugo gets angry that Adolf has called him an annoying chin-beard thief. Adolf tries to calm Hugo down. He claims there is a misunderstanding, and Camus is just but a child, so Hugo shouldn't take her words to heart. Hugo tells him that there is no need for him to explain the problem the Morgue has with children education to him. Camus doesn't control her actions. She keeps screaming that Hugo should give them back their rubies, and she can't even do her research because she doesn't have enough rubies. Adolf tries to calm her down, but it's too late because Hugo is already angry. Hugo says it's obvious that the Morgue don't teach manners at all. Adolf realizes Hugo may do something bad to the child, so he drags Camus closer. He asks if Hugo is trying to threaten an 8-year-old child. It is at that point that Vicar arrives with the butler. He enters and comments that it seems the Morgues don't teach their children not to envy what are others. Adolf looks at him, wondering if he is the genius from Baskerville. Camus stands up from beside her master and goes to confront Vikir. He recognizes her as Camus, and she asks him what he had said against her clan. He wonders if she is the Morg clan's iron-blooded empress, Camus Morg, whom he has heard about. She was called the genius of geniuses even in the Morg clan, which has raised countless great mages. At her peak, she killed all the monsters and the barbarians in the La Rouge et La Noire mountain by herself and burned them to death on spears, thereby creating the famous Border of Blood. He also realizes that her beauty is captivating, and she was also able to manipulate even the imperial family. She was therefore called the Fire Goddess of Authority. However, all those achievements are in the far future, and right now, she is just a child. She confronts him and tells him the ruby mine is hers and not his, but he tells her she had come a long way just to throw tantrums. The adults look at them as Camus gets angry at Vikir. She activates her powers and threatens she will explain to him why the ruby mine belongs to the Morgs. She calls him a stupid mutt and says she will make him understand. He feels that dueling against her will be fun, so he goes for it too. She activates her power on the city and says she will explain it simply to him. He recognizes the power she has activated as the ice sculpture. He had thought she wanted to fight him, and he was excited about nothing. She tells him that top-grade rubies come from the mine, and which is situated on the border of the two clans called the Joint Security Area. But the problem is that while the entrance of the mine is on Morg's territory, the mine runs underneath the Baskerville. She shows them and says it's situated such that the Baskerville can't take all the mines for themselves, and it also means the ruby mineral vein belongs to the Morg clan. She complains that the Baskerville is asserting that they are trespassing and interrupting the mining, and the Baskerville is also rejecting their offer to pay rent for the territory. Vikir tells her that rubies are commonly used for magic ingredients and that the Baskerville clan doesn't really need to mine the rubies. He continues and says that the territory rent fees must be a tragedy for their clan, and that there isn't an idiot in the Baskerville who would open up the land just for them to earn a few pennies. Camus gets more angry. She reminds him that he had just said the Baskerville doesn't need rubies. He agrees to that and tells her that they only need their land. That's why they are telling the Morgs not to come in, since they are the ones who will lose something in that situation. She gets furious, and she claims she will explain to him and make him understand why they are the owners of the ruby. She shows him the land again and also the mine. She stretches her arm towards the mine and asks him whose arm is it. He holds her hand and tells her the only hand that can stretch towards the land is his hand as a member of the Baskerville's family, not that of anyone from the Morgs, so any arm that stretches there will be his. She thinks his illustration is stupid and asks why it will be his hand when it's actually her arm. He tells her he hasn't said she is his. Instead, he only said her that her arm is his. He brings out his swords, behaving as though he wants to cut off her hand, and the adults are scared. And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2. Also subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.